Hey everybody, welcome back to my horror. It's Andrew Tibbs, and let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to have everybody channel their inner Macaulay Culkin. Look at the sign, and on the count of 3 you can scream. 1, 2, 3. Ah! All my family upstairs is awake, so I'm not afraid that that's going to wake them up. It's been a while since I did one of these videos. I think the last one I did was with my son, Declan, and we were opening up a surprise box, which I don't know if any of you guys have kids, but if you've, seen any of those surprise egg videos where they peel off the plate, open up the box, and it's a toy. They're really into that, and so Declan was ecstatic that I was opening up a box, and so if you guys haven't seen that one, go ahead and check it out. I watched quite a few movies. Believe it or not, I don't just watch the horror films that I do for this video. I watch a lot, and I've seen a lot of new ones too. Some examples, let me go ahead and show you guys some of what I've been doing. Other than the ones I watched for today, I've picked up Halloween for it was like $10 at Family Video, so I was like, sweet. Good kills in that one, so I was super happy about it. Hereditary, I'm still a little bit, not a little bit, the Oscars have always sort of snubbed horror films because it's not dignified for horror to be at like the Academy Awards. I think Get Out was the only one in recent memory that's been nominated at the Academy Awards, but part of that's because, just cultural significance, which it is a good movie. Go check it out if you haven't seen it, but this movie should have been nominated at least for Toni Collette to be Best Actress nominee because she's amazing, so check that out. And I'm only a couple episodes in on this. I have a really hard time with TV series. I don't know if any of you have kids, but trying to commit to watching a TV series is a daunting task, especially since I don't have a whole lot of time. So I'm 2 episodes in on The Terror, as a suggestion from a good friend of mine, Seth Pargin, and so I'm making my way, but it'll probably be next year by the time I finish it, so apologize. So, other than that, the 2 movies I want to talk to you guys about today, they're inspired by Giallo films. I don't know if any of you know about Giallo. I'm sure many of you do if you're a horror fan, but it's like Italian horror. Usually involves slasher, crime, mystery, people with black gloves who you don't know who the killer is until the final part of the film. Just very zoomy shots. It's a specific style almost. Like it doesn't you could be French or German and you could still make a Giallo film. It doesn't have to be Italian. But these are very good movies. I'll show them to you. I'm a huge fan of the original Suspiria, like the primary colors. I like to do art, if you couldn't tell already, and so the use of colors is just amazing. If you haven't seen Dario Argento's masterpiece, Suspiria, super fantastic. The use of colors, the music by Goblin, which is just mesmerizing. Like, I can listen to that song on repeat for a while. Not forever, because I would go insane, but a while and I'll still be happy, so Suspiria. But that's not what I watched for this week. Instead, I finally, in the mail, once it came out on Amazon, I freaking bought that. So good. The remake of Suspiria by, what's the guy's name? I'm going to butcher it again per usual. Luca Guadagnino. I was calling him Luca. Directed by Luca. Fantastic. The director for this one, he decided not to go, he went almost the complete opposite route from the original Suspiria and did this without the use of vibrant primary colors. The soundtrack isn't electronic, kind of like the Goblin one was in the original, but very bleak colors, almost looks like colors that you would see during a rainy day outside, very gloomy and very dark. This is a movie about witches, and so really good. And then the other film I watched this week that we're going to talk about is Amer. I think it's Amer. And this was directed by 2 people, Helene Catet and Bruno Franzinis, a couple people from France who are huge fans of Giallo, and so they decided to make this movie to kind of echo Mario Bava, Dario Argento, and Fucci, the guy who directed Zombie from Italy. But anyways, really good. So I'll talk about this one first. It follows the story of a girl named Anna. I kind of have a cheat sheet here because it's divided into 3 segments. And so it follows the story of Anna during 3 parts of her life, and it is about Anna's sexual awakening. Okay, it starts with her as a child when she's young. Duh. God, man, I tell you. Sometimes I say things and I look back on it. But when she was a young adult, and then when she was an adult. And when she was young, she was a rebellious kid. She didn't really have a whole lot to do. She lived in a big mansion with her 2 neglectful parents who didn't really seem to care about her. Like, she would even try to, like, play hide and seek with them when they were not willing to participate at all. And at one point, she walks up to their door, looks in, and sees them playing Spider-Man together. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but she sees them playing Spider-Man together. She spies in on the grandfather's corpse, who seems to be preserved in one of the other rooms. So her parents are a lot like Ed Gein right now, so that's creepy. But after she sees her parents in the room, she starts to see herself being chased around by this woman in black who's wearing black gloves, a lot like what I told you about before with the Giallo films, just chasing her around the house. And so, interesting, and you find out what it is later. I'm not going to give away the ending completely. And when she's a young adult, this next one is it's very basic. She's walking along the coast near her home, and she sees a bunch of people, in the cars or on motorcycles, a motorcycle gang, kind of staring at her. She's emerging into womanhood. She's looking very pretty. I mean, she's a gorgeous girl, but she's noticing that people are now looking at her. And so, when she was young, she was looking at other people, and learning a lot about sexuality at a young age. And then, now she's learning it from a different direction, like people looking at her. And so when she's an adult, it comes full circle. Now she's looking at herself. And, there's some story involving her, outrunning a murderer in the house, deciding to take a bath during the midst of that, which I think is a terrible idea. Run, personally. But I don't know if this is what the director intended on doing, but you come to find that the woman in black with the black gloves who comes and, is trying to kill her, to me, it's like, that's the anxieties and the guilt and just all her emotions rolled up into one that are the manifestation of her sexual crisis or sexual identity. And so it's like attacking her. And so really interesting. They do have a lot of parts in this movie that remind me completely of Suspiria, or especially Deep Red. If you haven't seen Deep Red from Dario Argento, parts of this movie really remind me of that, with the zoom-in shots, the look at the black gloves, like a lot of things. Really, really cool. So check out Amer. I found it at a pawn shop, but I saw the case and I'm like, that looks like an old movie, so I went ahead and got it. So really good. Now, this movie, Suspiria, this is good. I don't typically, like, you get, know how you get some of the films like Stoker or some of those depressing horror films that, you watch it, but you say to yourself, I'm not going to watch this again. Like, I think once is enough for me. This should be one of those, but it's so stylistic in everything that's done. Like, some of the few changes, not, like I mentioned before, lack of primary colors. Like, you can see, it looks kind of, dull colors, very, like, some browns, some oranges, lack of primary colors. But the difference is, like, in the original, you had... So, okay, I'll skip to the story a little bit. In the original, you have a ballet studio that's ran by a coven of witches out in Germany. I think it's Germany. This one's Germany, so I have to recheck my thing on that. Let's see. It doesn't say, it just says European Dance Company in the original. So, but instead of being a ballet, this girl named Susie, a lady who used to actually be sort of a Mennonite, she arrives in Germany and wants to join this prestigious dance studio. Again, the one that's run by the witches, only this time it's not ballet. It's like, I'm going to be wrong on this, and I mean no disrespect, but it's like interpretive dancing, which is very, very beautiful. But I thought that change that they went with like an interpretive dance company as opposed to a ballet company is far more fitting for the story, because I mean we're talking about witches, witches doing rituals, getting together and doing more rituals. but some of the dancing that they do is intertwined with those rituals, and so the dancing they do, the interpretive dancing, looks a lot like witchcraft, and so it fits perfectly, as opposed to if they were to do that in Suspiria, you're not going to see people prancing around doing ballet while there's a sacrifice going on or something. So really, really interesting. I like the direction they went. But it's got a girl named Susie. Like I said, she comes to this prestigious dance company, and she gets the attention of some of the people in charge, Madame Blanc, who's also played by Tilda Swinton, and then some of the other ladies in there as well. And what's different about this one that I really, really like is they tell you straight on into the movie, these people are witches. I mean, they don't... Susie doesn't find out. Like, all the other girls who are involved with the dance company are they're skeptical that something's going on, and whenever the witches notice that someone's skeptical, they off them in a terrible, terrible way. Poor Olga, by the way, if you guys end up seeing it. But you find out really quickly, you find out what the witches know. Like, who's involved and who's bad. Whereas in the original, you don't really find out till the end. I mean, you suspect, but you don't outright know who's involved with the coven. And so in this one, they bring in Susie to be on the dance company, and as certain people are getting killed off because they're skeptical about what's going on, or they're questioning, like there's some witches actually here. They off those people, and Susie gets hoisted to play this is Susie right here, Dakota Johnson from 50 Shades of Grey. She gets promoted, I've never seen it, to be the lead in Volk. It's this new dance that's coming up. And Tilda Swinton, she's Madame Blanc, she's one of the bad people. But anyways, she, starts to befriend Susie, and there's a plan. All the witches start really focusing on Susie because they feel that they can use her for an upcoming ritual. One of the Madame Marcos, she's one of the witches, and she's deteriorating. You don't really see her all that much except for a couple parts near the end, but she's a witch who's deteriorating. She's looking very sickly, almost like she has leprosy, and she's in search for a new body, and so they start priming her for the ritual so that Madame Marcos can take over her body. She doesn't know that. She just thinks she's a part of the dance company, but I really, really want to give this twist away, but I don't want to at the same time, though, because when you see it, it's crazy. Just know that the whole coven that formed this dance company in Germany, it was ran by three witches. Three witches who are named Mater Tenebram, Mater Lacrimarium, and Mother Suspiriorum. I guess mother and all those, but there's the three mothers, and someone is revealed to be a certain something by the end. So really crazy, and it has one of the coolest. At the end, when the said ritual takes place, I'm not going to go beyond that. You see the dancing happen. There is nudity, but you see the dance happen. You see a bunch of people revealed to be something they weren't, or something they are, and it is a crazy bloodbath. Like, this movie was very daring, and I thought it was absolutely awesome. So go check out those movies. I don't know how you're gonna find this one. I guess you can find it on Amazon, but Suspiria, I liked it. I heard something, I don't know if it was one of those clickbait things from, Facebook, like those sources that you have no idea if they're real or not, and so I don't put stock into them. But I heard that Dario Argento was not a fan of this remake. I don't know if it's because it went a completely different direction, but the story is more deep in this one than it is in the original. Not to say the original is bad, it's a classic, and I love it. But frankly, if it is true and Dario Argento did not like this version, I don't care. I don't care if he doesn't like it. I love Stephen King. I don't give a crap if he doesn't like The Shining. I enjoy that movie. It's a good movie. And so I'd say watch it, ignore. The critics were divided on this, of course, as they are in most horror films. Like, you're either going to like it or you don't. Kind of like Black Licorice, which I'm not a fan of, but you know. So very, very good. I check that out. Suspiria, the remake. And I will have you guys know, don't send me anything in the mail because I'm probably think it's anthrax and just throw it away. But it's my birthday, actually today, and my wife made me a couple gifts. She's given me a couch to put in my man cave. I'm not going to show you the back of this room because it's boring, but she's got me a futon to put there so I can chill and watch movies, and she made me pillows for my futon. I will show them to you. Really cool pillow that she made. My wife is quite the seamstress, so we got the Mummy, Dracula, Wolfman. That is Wolfman, right? Yeah, and then Frankenstein. Really cool. And then she tapped into my... Hey guys, sorry. It's hard. Everything is kind of spread out here, so forgive me. But she tapped into my youth and got me a Goosebumps pillow as well, so... Gosh, you score big when that kind of stuff happens. And I've been working on some more horror art. I don't know if you guys can see this right here, but I have not the woman in black. Well, she is in black, but this is the Parker Crane from the Insidious movies. And then I also just barely finished this. I'm trying to put together a bunch of these mini. I cut them out of plywood, and then I'm painting certain figures on them. So this is the Babadook, obviously. But let me know if any of you guys are interested at all. I'm not trying to seek out a second business or anything, but I enjoy making these, and I'm willing to make them and sell. So just hit me up if you guys are interested, or in the comment section, let me know what kind of characters you'd like me to do, and I'm more than happy to do it. I like picking up new projects, and so go ahead and share this video, subscribe. Let me know what movies. Really, honestly, let me know what movies you guys would like me to see, because, I am one person, and if I'm left to looking up movies by myself, I'll probably get off on some bad paths, and so pick movies for me. I'm always interested in looking up new things, and I'm very open. I like all sorts of horror films, and so that's it. So thanks, guys. Remember, keep things scary. Have a good one. Bye.